මෙවරත් ජනතා සම්මාන රැසකින් පිදුම් ලැබූ මංචි රසකරන ඔබට බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
අමරිකානු ජනාධිපති ඩොනල්ඩ් ට්‍රම්ප් විසින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවෙන් ආනයනය කරන භාණ්ඩ සඳහා 44%ක තීරුබද්දක් පැනවීමට තීරණය කර තිබෙනවා. අදාළ බදු පැනවීම අමරිකානු ජනාධිපතිවරයා විසින් ඊයේ ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කර ඇති අතර අනිද්දා දිනේ සිට එම බදු පැනවීම ක්‍රියාත්මක බවටයි වාර්තා වන්නේ. අමරිකානු ජනාධිපති ඩොනල්ඩ් ට්‍රම්ප් විසින් රටවල් කිහිපයකට අනන්‍ය තීරුබදු පැනවීම ඊයේ දිනේ සජීවීව ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කළා. එහිදී ලෝපුරා රටවල් 60කට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් සඳහා නව තීරුබදු ලයිස්තුවක් එළිදක්වා ඇති බව සඳහන් වෙනවා. ඇමරිකාවේ වෙළඳ සමතුලිතතාවය පාලනය කිරීම සහ ඇමරිකානු කර්මාන්ත ධෛර්යමත් කිරීමේ මෙම නව බදු පැනවීමේ අරමුණ බව ඇමරිකානු ජනාධිපතිවරයා ප්‍රකාශ කර තිබෙනවා. මෙම නව බදු ප්‍රතිපත්තියට අනුව සියලුම ආනයන සඳහා 10%ක තීරුබද්දක් ඇතුළත් වන අතර ඇමරිකා එක්සත් ජනපදයේ සමග වෙළඳ අතිරික්තයක් පවත්වාගෙන යන රටවල් සඳහා ඉහළ තීරුබද්දක් ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කර තිබීම විශේෂත්වයක්. ඒ අනුව ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට 44%ක තීරුබදු පැනවීමක් සිදු කර ඇති අතර එය ලොව වැඩිම තීරුබදු පැන වූ පළමු රටවල් 5 අතරට ඇතුළත්ව තිබීමත් විශේෂත්වයක්. කාම්බෝජයට 149ක තීරුබද්දක් පැනවීම සිදු කර ඇති අතර වියට්නාමයට 146ක තීරුබදු පැනවීමක් සිදු කර තිබෙනවා. බංග්ලාදේශයට 137ක, තායිලන්තයට 136ක, චීනයට 134ක, ඉන්දියාවට 126ක බදු පැනවීමක් සිදු කර ඇති අතර යුරෝපීය සංගමයටද 120ක තීරුබදු පැනවීමක් සිදු කර ඇති බව වාර්තා වනවා. මෙතෙක් ඇමරිකාව විසින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවෙන් ආනයනය කරන භාණ්ඩ සඳහා 12.2ක තීරුබදු පැනවීමක් සිදු කර තිබූ අතර මෙම නව තීරුබදු පැනවීම සමග මෙරට අපනයන ක්ෂේත්‍රයට දැඩි බලපෑමක් එල්ලවනු ඇති බවයි ආර්ථික විශේෂඥයින් පෙන්වා දෙන්නේ. විශේෂයෙන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ වැඩිම ඇඟලුම් අපනයනයක් සිදු කරනු ලබන්නේ ඇමරිකාවට වන අතර එම බදු පැනවීම මගින් එම ක්ෂේත්‍රයට දැඩි බලපෑමක් එල්ලවනු ඇති බවයි සඳහන් වන්නේ. පසුගිය 2024 වර්ෂයේ ඇමරිකාව විසින් මෙරටින් ඇමරිකානු ඩොලර් බිලියන 3කට වැඩි භාණ්ඩ ප්‍රමාණයක් ආනයනය කර ඇති අතර මේ වසරේ ජනවාරි මාසයේ පමණක් ඇමරිකානු ඩොලර් මිලියන 346කට වැඩි භාණ්ඩ ප්‍රමාණයක් ආනයනය කර තිබීම විශේෂත්වයක්. ඇමරිකානු ජනාධිපති ඩොනල්ඩ් ට්‍රම්ප් අදාළ නිවේදනය ඉදිරිපත් කළේ මේ අයුරින්.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you. Nice crowd. What a good-looking group of people. Well, we have some very, very good news today, and a lot of good things are happening for our country. Please sit down. My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. We're going to make it wealthy, good and wealthy. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered by nations near and far, both friend and foe alike. American steel workers, auto workers, farmers, and skilled craftsmen. We have a lot of them here with us today. They really suffered gravely. They watched in anguish as foreign leaders have stolen our jobs, foreign cheaters have ransacked our factories, and foreign scavengers have torn apart our once beautiful American dream. We had an American dream that you don't hear so much about. You did 4 years ago, and you are now, but you don't too often, and for many years and decades even, you didn't hear too much about. Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen. In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal, that means they do it to us and we do it to them. Very simple, can't get any simpler than that. This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence. For years, hardworking American citizens were forced to sit on the sidelines as other nations got rich and powerful, much of it at our expense. But now it's our turn to prosper, and in so doing, use trillions and trillions of dollars to reduce our taxes and pay down our national debt, and it'll all happen very quickly. With today's action, we are finally going to be able to make America great again, greater than ever before. Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see it happening already. We will supercharge our domestic industrial base. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. And ultimately, more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America. It's coming back, and we're going to come back very strongly. U.S. Trade Representative on Foreign Trade Barriers, and I'll just hold it up for you. It's available, and you don't have to pay too much. As I understand it, you'll pay nothing. It's a lot of work for something, actually, because it's a special book. It's frankly, it's very upsetting when you read it, when you see what people have been doing to us for 30 years. This all happened with no response from the United States of America, none whatsoever. But those days are over. Let me offer just a few examples of the vicious attacks our workers have faced for so many years. The United States charges other countries only a 2.4 tariff on motorcycles. Meanwhile, Thailand and others are charging much higher prices, like 60%. India charges 70%. Vietnam charges 75%, and others are even higher than that. Likewise, until today, the United States has for decades charged a 2.5 tariff. Think of that, 2.5% on foreign-made automobiles. The European Union charges us more than 10% tariffs, and they have 20% VATs, much, much higher. India charges 70%, and perhaps worst of all are the non-monetary restrictions imposed by South Korea, Japan, and very many other nations as a result of these colossal trade barriers. 81% of the cars in South Korea are made in South Korea. 94% of the cars in Japan are made in Japan. Toyota sells 1 million foreign-made automobiles into the United States, and General Motors sells almost none. Not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries. We didn't want to do that. I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thanks, Howard. So if you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left. And he's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China, charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And they understood, honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand. And the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination. But I went to him and I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. A trade is not fair. And he said, I know that. And he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but he understood immediately what I was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left in the deal that was made previous to my getting there, but it was something. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia, oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%, and we'll go 10%. So we'll do the same thing. South Africa, 60%, 30%, and they've got some bad things going on in South Africa. You know, we're paying them billions of dollars, and we cut the funding because a lot of bad things are happening in South Africa. The fake news ought to be looking at it. They don't want to report it. Brazil, 10%. Bangladesh is 74%. So you see what's going on. Pakistan, 58%. Sri Lanka, 88%. So what we're doing is we're taking not the full, we could take the full 88%. Thanks a lot, Howard. He's doing a very good job. How's he doing, all right? I think you better take it with you. It's not going to last very long. He's going to put it, it's going to follow you down with the wind. I brought a hat just in case it got too windy, but here, would anybody like a hat? I'm not giving it to a cabinet. I'm giving it to the auto workers. Come here. Thank you, fellas. Get it. That's it. That's it. They deserve it more than our cabinet. Our cabinet has plenty of hats. Big moment. I think you're going to remember today. It's going to be a free nation that we're dealing with. We're going to have a very free and beautiful nation. It's going to be Liberation Day in America, and it's going to be a day that hopefully you're going to look back in years to come and you're going to say, you know, he was right. This has turned out to be one of the most important days in the history of our country. God bless you and God bless America. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, y'all. We have two documents prepared for the president's signature today. One closes what's referred to as the de minimis loophole with respect to imports from the People's Republic of China. The other is the big one, is the reciprocal tariff executive order that the president just spoke about at length. This is obviously a huge deal, and it's been an honor to be a part of your team getting this ready for you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is big stuff. That's a 10. It's a good one. Look. That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to hand out these pens now, if I can. Come on over. Yeah. Thank you.